Welcome to Coquí Amigos Connections. Are you ready for today's deep dive?
Ready when you are.
Awesome. So we're tackling something that I know a lot of our listeners are thinking about, and that's moving to Puerto Rico.
Right. Such a hot topic.
It really is. But we're going beyond just dreaming about it today.
Yeah, we're getting into the nitty-gritty.
Exactly. We're talking about how to actually make that move happen and, more importantly, make it happen smoothly and stress-free. And that's where Coquí Destination and Relocation Services comes in.
Yes. The stress busters.
They really are. They're like that friend who's already moved a million times and knows all the tricks and shortcuts.
Exactly. Think of us as your personal moving Sherpas, guiding you through the entire relocation process.
Love that analogy.
Ah,
Okay, so let's jump right in. One of the things that Coquí is really known for is their home search assistance program,
right. And that's one of the things people get most excited about when they think about moving, right?
finding that dream home.
Exactly. But, it's more than just, scrolling through listings online.
Yeah, I was going to ask about that. I mean, home search assistance sounds pretty self-explanatory, but I have a feeling it's much deeper than that.
You're absolutely right. One thing that makes Coquí stand out is that they pair you with an actual licensed real estate agent who really knows the island.
Okay, so this isn't just some random agent who dabbles in the Puerto Rican market, right?
No, not at all. These are agents who live and breathe Puerto Rico. They know the neighborhoods. They know the market trends.
The hidden gems.
Exactly. They can help you find those places that you'd never even know existed just from looking online. And even more important than that, these agents have been specifically trained by Coquí Destination and Relocation Services on all the ins and outs of relocation. So they understand the unique needs and concerns that someone moving to a new place might have.
That makes so much sense. So they're not just real estate experts, they're relocation experts as well.
Precisely. And Coquí makes sure that their agents are always up to date on all the latest rules and regulations and market trends, too, through regular training.
Oh, that's great. So you're always getting the most current information, which I imagine is crucial, especially at a place like Puerto Rico where things can change quickly.
Absolutely. The real estate market in Puerto Rico is very dynamic. There are tax incentives. There are new developments popping up all the time. So having an agent who is on top of all of that is absolutely crucial.
Okay, so that's reassuring. Knowing you have an expert in your corner who understands the ins and outs of both the real estate side and the unique needs of someone relocating. I mean, that can make all the difference in the world.
Absolutely. I mean, it takes so much of the stress and guesswork out of the process.
Yeah, I bet. So speaking of stress, one of the things that I've always heard about moving, especially to a new place, is that fear of making the wrong choice. You see these beautiful photos online, but then you get there and the neighborhood is totally different from what you expected.
Oh, yeah. The Pinterest versus reality of moving. We've all seen those memes.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So does Coquí do anything to prevent that kind of buyer's remorse?
They do. This is where Coquí's personalized property tours really come in. They know that actually seeing a place in person is essential. So these tours aren't just about walking through a house and checking off boxes. They're designed to help you really experience the property, get a feel for the neighborhood, imagine yourself living there.
Okay, so it's about finding the right fit, not just any house.
Precisely. They take the time to understand your lifestyle, your needs, your preferences, even things like, do you like to walk to places? Do you need to be close to public transportation? All those things factor in.
And they actually take you to different neighborhoods and show you around.
Absolutely. And they'll point out things you might not even think to ask about, like noise levels at different times of day, proximity to parks or schools, the local vibe.
I bet they have some stories about those tours. Like maybe a client who was set on a particular property because of the online photos, but they can completely change their mind after seeing it in person.
Oh, absolutely. I mean, it happens all the time. I remember one client who was looking for a house with a big garden. They love to garden, wanted a space to grow their own vegetables and all that.
That was lovely.
Right. And the online photos for this one property showed this beautiful, sprawling yard. I mean, it looked amazing.
Okay, so what happened?
So they went on the personalized tour, and it turned out that the garden was on this really steep slope, like almost impossible to actually use for gardening. And the client, they were so relieved that they'd gone on the tour because they would have been so disappointed if they'd bought that house based on the photos alone.
Wow, that's a perfect example of how Coquí goes beyond what a typical real estate agency would do. But, moving isn't just about the house itself. There's a whole world outside those four walls. What about all those other things that come with moving, like finding a new doctor, figuring out the school system, finding reliable contractors, just knowing where to go for what. I mean, that can be so overwhelming, especially in a new place.
Right. It's like starting your whole life over from scratch in some ways.
Exactly. So how does Coquí help with that?
Well, they get that. They understand that moving isn't just about finding a house. It's about integrating into a whole new community. And they offer support that goes way beyond just the house hunt. So, for example, they can connect you with trusted local contractors.
Well, that's so important. I mean, things are always going to come up. Plumbing issues, electrical problems, you name it.
Exactly. And trying to find a reliable plumber or electrician in a new place where you might not even speak the language fluently, it's stressful.
It could be a nightmare.
Exactly. But with Coquí, you don't have to worry about that. They have a whole network of vetted, trusted contractors, plumbers, electricians, painters, you name it.
Okay, but how do they make sure these contractors are actually reliable and offer competitive prices?
Yeah.
I mean, I can imagine some companies might just recommend whoever they have a deal with, regardless of quality.
That's a really good point. And honestly, it's something I wondered about at first, too. But Coquí has a really rigorous vetting process for all their contractors. They check references, they look at their experience, their insurance, everything. They want to make sure they meet Coquí's standards of quality and professionalism.
So it's not just about getting the job done, it's about getting it done right.
Exactly. And they also negotiate rates with these contractors to make sure their clients are getting the best possible value. In fact, their network of contractors has been shown to save clients an average of 20 hours and 15% on renovation costs.
Wow, that's impressive. And probably worth its weight in gold in terms of peace of mind. Okay, so contractors, check. What about other aspects of settling in?
So they can also help you find the right schools for your kids if you have children. They can connect you with healthcare providers. They can even help you with things like setting up utilities and internet service. Basically, anything you need help with, they're there to guide you.
It's almost like having a personal concierge for your entire relocation. It takes all the guesswork out of it.
Exactly. They know how overwhelming it can be, and they want to make the transition as smooth as possible. They want you to be able to focus on the exciting parts of moving to Puerto Rico.
Right, like actually enjoying your new life on the island.
Exactly. And that's really what it's all about.
So for any of our listeners out there who are dreaming of a life in Puerto Rico, imagine this. You're settled in your dream home, the Caribbean breeze flowing through the windows, the scent of tropical flowers in the air. You're sipping your coffee on your balcony, watching the sunrise over the ocean. And you know that you had expert help every step of the way. You didn't have to stress about finding the right house, the right contractor, the right school. All of that was taken care of.
Sounds pretty idyllic, right?
It does, and that peace of mind, that's what Coquí Destination and Relocation Services offers. It's more than just a move. It's the start of a new adventure. And they want to make sure you can embrace that adventure with confidence and excitement.
Couldn't have said it better myself.
And on that note, I think we've covered just about everything for today's deep dive into Coquí Destination and Relocation Services. I don't know about you, but I'm suddenly feeling the urge for a piña colada.
Me too. Sunshine and beaches, here we come.
Thanks for joining us.
Hasta pronto.